Falcon fan, this boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the NFC South and how the Falcons stack up against our three other opponents in the division. We know that NFC is up for grabs. Any team can win it. Of course, they got some teams they already put up there, the Eagles, the 49ers, and those teams still top of the crop. But NFC is definitely open for the open season for any team that want to takes it. And the NFC South is definitely that way as well. We'll talk about NFC South today. So guys, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys like to hear I talk about. And please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So NFC South, guys. Usually when I looking at the NFC South, I just go out and I really much don't care about the offseason moves. I really key in on what Atlanta has done, because really I worry about what we do, and no matter what anybody else does, if we do the things we got to do, we're gonna be able to succeed. However, you always got to go look at your opponents and try to check on what some of their weaknesses and strengths may be, so you can prepare for those guys. Especially when I come out here, guys, and give you guys keys for victory throughout the season. I want to be able to know the opponents and what they're got and how good they can particularly be from week to week. So definitely going to talk about NFC South. Of course, right now most people have the Carolina Panthers or the New Orleans Saints winning the division this year. Of course, Atlanta never gets any props for anything they do. They have to go out and just prove it and shut everybody else up, which is fine. But so Atlanta once again look like they're going to be picking in the top 10 according to everybody, even though all the moves that they made, all the money that they spent in the offseason this year, somehow the Falcons still is in the lower half of the power rankings for the NFL, which just baffles me. But either way, we're going to talk about the Atlanta Falcons last. We're going to get into the other three teams in the NFC South and how they actually stack up against these Atlanta Falcons. So first of all, we're going to talk about the Carolina Panthers. I really believe the Carolina Panthers have really made good moves this offseason. And if it's any team in this division that I'm kind of worried about, it would be the Carolina Panthers. Of course, we know the Carolina Panthers went up and made the big move to move up number one to go get their franchise quarterback and Bryce Young. They had to give up their best offensive player, their receiver, to the Chicago Bears, but they did go out and bring in veteran receivers, to pair with Bryce Young and DJ Chark and Adam Thielen. They also brought in tight end Hayden Hurst and running back Miles Sanders. So they brought in a lot of weapons for Bryce Young, so he would not have to actually, be out there by himself. The offensive line is already pretty good as well, so Bryce Young is coming to a pretty good situation for the Carolina Panthers. Also, their defense is already a solid defense. Guys like Derek Brown, Jeremy Chin, Brian Burns, brought in Eva Road as a defensive coordinator. One of the guys that the Atlanta Falcons actually considered to be a defensive coordinator as well. Jonathan Mingo is also going to help those guys out on the offensive side of the ball. And safety Jamie Robinson actually was a senior in high school with my son, so I know Jamie Robinson very well. Congratulations, that young man, to make it to the NFL, and he's going to be really solid for the Carolina Panthers. But overall, for the Carolina Panthers, I think they made a lot of good, solid moves this offseason. Defense was already really good. Their run game was really good last year with Chuba Herbert. So if there's one team that I'm really worried about is the Carolina Panthers. Of course, it's going to take Bryce Young time to actually, acclimate to the NFL. I don't think no rookie quarterbacks comes out right away and hit the ground running. However, he is coming to a good situation. Like I said, good offense, good solid offensive line, good running game already established, great defense. thing is, how quick can the new culture of bringing in a new coach and Frank Wright, Jim Caldwell, who's a senior assistant there, and get that culture established quickly. Let's see how long that takes. But from a roster build standpoint, I think the Carolina Panthers have done a great job. And for one team that I would be worried about, it would be these Carolina Panthers. The next team is, of course, the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints still dealing with cap issues, so of course they lose players yearly. But the big move for the New Orleans Saints this year definitely was bringing in Derek Carr, somebody they feel going to stabilize their offense. Finally, they've been playing musical chairs with quarterbacks since Drew Brees left, so it's going to be interesting to see how Derek Carr favors bows with this New Orleans team. Of course, Alvin Kamara's suspension is looming. That's why they went out and got Keandre Miller, the running back. That's their back up there. And of course, they went and got Jamal Williams as well. So both of those guys going to probably fill in however long Alvin Kamara probably more likely going to be suspended. In the draft, they had to replace guys that actually that left the New Orleans Saints for the Atlanta Falcons, which and David Amayada and Caden Ellis. And also they lost their assistant defensive coordinator and Ryan Nielsen as well. So from a defensive standpoint, guys like Cameron Jordan, Demario Davis, Tyrann Matthew definitely going to have to step up to fill those voids from those guys coming out. But the new guys are bringing in Brian Bresee, Isaiah Foskey. It's really going to help the team. From an offense standpoint, Derek Carr does have weapons. He still got Michael Thomas there, Chris Olave, and they brought in A.T. Perry as another guy later on in the draft. I think number 195 for them coming in. So the New Orleans team is, I think, still solid. It's going to be interesting to see the losses. Like I said, Ryan Nielsen and their two veteran guys that they had on the squad, defensive standpoint. But the biggest thing is going to be what Derek Carr will be able to do. Can he do what they expect him to do and be the best quarterback in this division? One of the best quarterbacks in this conference in NFC. So, real time will tell on that. But I would say that the Saints moves this offseason been so considering the things they had to do with their salary cap issues that they've been having throughout the years. Next team is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady left, and I felt like he left the team in shambles. A little older team, still solid on defense. Still got Vita Vea there. Shaquille Barrett is there as well. And my condolences to Shaquille Barrett for the loss of his young daughter who drowned in the pool as well. Just want to go ahead and throw that out there. Devin White is another linebacker that was trying to get out of Tampa. I think he could see the writing on the wall, but they didn't want him to go. The rookies they brought in, Isaiah Foskey, Kalaja Kansi, a guy that they really trying to compare to Aaron Donald, which shouldn't, do that to any young player coming out. But, the ties come from Pitts, smaller size, really explosive guy. We're going to be interested to see what he can do beside Vita Vea. They did bring in offensive lineman, Cody Mock, trying to fix their offensive line woes. We know they still have issues with the offensive line. The biggest issue with them is their quarterback position between Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask, who's actually going to win that job. Yaya Diaby as well, another pass rusher they brought in for Louisville, coming on the edge. So they're trying to, do some things and build back up their team. But I believe that Tampa Bay is a little bit more of a rebuild. And if anything, I think Tampa Bay probably will be the fourth team in this division this year. So I got them finishing last in this division this year behind the Panthers and the Saints. So that's where I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers gonna be. All right, then last but not least, we get to the Atlanta Falcons. Of course, I think the only question mark for the Atlanta Falcons, based off all the moves they made this year, is what Desmond Ridder is going to be able to do in year 2. That's still unknown, and which is fair for anybody to question that. But if you looked at what he did through the first 4 games, was solid. Wasn't anything to be 100% sure about, but it definitely wasn't something to be like, oh my gosh, we got to go find somebody right away. I think Desmond Ridder did what a rookie is supposed to do, what most rookies do. Have some mistakes, have a learning, progression to go from game to game, and I thought he did that. But I think from a roster build standpoint, that's probably the only question mark that I can actually see where the Atlanta Falcons might have issues. And of course, the receiver room, of course, is still a young receiver room as well. I think Arthur Smith, the way he got the roster constructed, is going to try to find more ways to pass the ball, not just with receivers, but of course with the dynamic tight ends we got in Jonnu Smith and Kyle Pitts. Of course, Bijan, Cordell Patterson as well can be utilized in the passing game. So I think we got enough pass catchers on the team. But if you want to hit the Falcons, well, not having a more seasoned receiving core, I can understand that as well. But those are the holes where I see the Falcons maybe be lacking from a depth standpoint, is the unknown at the quarterback position. We do have Taylor Heineke as a veteran, has played a lot of snaps in the last couple seasons because of the injuries in Washington. So good solid backup for us. But Desmond Ridder unknown is definitely going to be the key for the Atlanta Falcons. But if he can just play the way he played the last 2 games for this team at the end of the season, I think the Atlanta Falcons we're really going to be really good. This roster is so much improved from the last 2 seasons. You can see from position to position the depth that is there, to the point where it's forcing the coaching staff to make really, really tough decisions to get to the 53-man roster projections, because each position is so deep. So you love that going to the training camp. Every individual is going to go out there and bust their butts and try to earn a position with this Atlanta Falcon team. But overall, NFC South, I think it's going to come down between the Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons, but it all boils on the quarterbacks from both teams, right? Bryce Young, overall number 1 pick in the draft this year, and second-year quarterback Desmond Ridder. And at the end, the coaching staff as well. So, of course, I'm going to be biased. I'm going to get to the Atlanta Falcons, but I still believe that the Carolina Panthers really, really got a really good chance to be really good this year as well. So, that's where I'm at with NFC South. So, I'm going Falcons 1, Panthers 2, Saints 3, and the Bucks at 4. I know the national media definitely don't see it that way. I think national media probably have the Saints maybe be higher than the Panthers because of they really have the only veteran quarterback in this division that has had some success, right? So you can look at Derek Carr and say that he should be able to get the Saints to a winning record over what Desmond Ridder and Bryce Young and Kyle Trask or Baker Mayfield can do. So it's really going to be interesting to see how they lay it out and what their plan is with the quarterbacks, with the Bucks and the Panthers as well, because it was word out that Andy Dalton might actually start for the season, which I think would be a mistake. I think just let Bryce Young go out and learn on the fly. And I think the pieces around him are good enough for him to not be put out there by himself. So that's why the running game, the defense, I think is solid for the Panthers. So they should go ahead and start with Bryce Young right away. But that's why I stand, guys. I really want your input on this. Let me know what you see in the NFC South. Try not to be too biased because you're Atlanta Falcon fans like me. But just take a look at the rosters, look at the moves, what you think, and just give me your honest opinion of where you think the Atlanta Falcons will place in the division this year. I say 1, because of the track record, the culture of what we have done over the last 2 seasons. That's why I'm saying we're going to win it this year. Panthers got a new coaching staff. Saints, I feel like, still just losing pieces little by little in the books. Really just in the rebuild mode. So that's the reason why I picked the Falcons to win it this year. But I want to hear from you guys because I'm just one person. And like I said, I'm going to be biased regardless. I mean, I can't look at rosters. Like last year, I wouldn't say the Falcons going to win the division. I can't say that. But this year, I feel really, really positive. Told you I'm excited. I can't wait to see what happens. It all boils down to what they do on the field, but on paper and the moves they made, the chemistry, the team, the vision, the plan. I really believe that the Falcons are going to be really good this year. So, guys, that's all I have. Let me know what you think. Who are your number one pick in the NFC South this year? Is it the Falcons, is it the Aints, is it the Panthers, or is it the Bucks? And this is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.